Namaste everyone, welcome back to Suvi English channel. In today's class, I am going to discuss an essay titled Confession of a Book Reviewer written by a British writer George Orwell. Before we start our discussion on this essay, let us know about the author. George Orwell was a British poet, a novelist, an essayist, a journalist and a book reviewer. His original name was Eric Arthur Blair. He changed his name to George Orwell, inspired by a river Orwell. He is well known for his famous works called Animal Farm and his novel 1984. And the essay Confession of a Book Reviewer was published in the year 1946. And in this essay, Confession of a Book Reviewer, George Orwell talks about the difficulties and the frustrations faced by book reviewer. And he talks about how the book reviewers are forced by some publishing houses to write some positive reviews on some books. As a book reviewer, George Orwell also had written some fake reviews because of the pressure, because of the force by the publishing houses. And in this essay, he is confessing everything. He is confessing his mistakes, he is confessing his wrong deeds as a book reviewer. Confession in Kannada means tappoppige. That means we admit our mistakes. So in this essay, George Orwell is admitting whatever wrong he has done being a book reviewer. And he is admitting that he had done something wrong by giving some fake review about some books. We all know how important the reviews are in marketing. It may be a book, it may be a product, it may be a movie, it may be a place, it may be a hotel. You all know how important reviews are in any market. People show some interest in buying a product when they hear positive reviews about a product, right? And when it comes to the film, people go through some reviews and they decide whether they should watch that movie or not. And similarly, during 1940s and 50s, people used to buy books based on the reviews that were produced by some famous book reviewers. So there was a huge demand for book reviewers, but the book reviewers had some pressure. They were forced to write some positive reviews about the books so that there would be marketing, good marketing. And in this essay, we see the lifestyle of a book reviewer. George Orwell first describes the working environment of a book reviewer. We see a book reviewer sitting in a small cold room, stuffy room. All the unwanted stuff is loaded in that room. We can see some unwanted things there, and you can find some cigarette ends and half empty teacups. That shows that book reviewer is frustrated, he has some stress, he has some pressure, so he has the habit of smoking. There are some bundles of books that should be reviewed. There are some important files and there are some unanswered letters. He has received some letters, so those letters were unanswered. He has to reply to those letters, and all those books, files, letters, typewriter are not properly arranged in his room. That shows that he is so busy in his work. And if you look at the appearance of that book reviewer, he is just 35 years old, but he looks like 50 years old man. That's because of malnutrition, that's because of sleepless nights, and that's because of the stress that he was having. And he has his own schedule. As per his schedule, he has to start his work at 9:30. Sometimes because of his stress, he would start his work at 11:30. And even when he starts his work at 11:30, he is continuously disturbed by many things. And some of the distractions are continuous ringing of telephone and cryings of baby and the noise of electric drilling machine. And sometimes he is disturbed by the visits of some creditors, so he is not at all able to focus on his work. So book reviewing needs some attention, it needs some focus, so he is not able to focus because of all these distractions. book reviewing job is not so easy. He has to read it, he has to reread it, and he has to pay attention to every line, the theme, message, the content. Then he has to give his own reviews. But he is disturbed. He is disturbed by all these things. So he is not able to concentrate on his work. Sometimes after completing the review of one bundle of books, he would get the other bundle. So he would continuously receive the parcels from various publishing houses, various editors. So sometimes he would feel bored of doing that work. In order to review a book, the reviewer has to read it and reread it. Sometimes he has to have multiple times of readings. Otherwise, he cannot give his opinion, his reviews on that particular book. Once he received a bundle of 5 books and he was forced to write a positive review on those 5 books. And among those 5 books, 3 books were having completely new subject, and the reviewer was completely unaware of the subject. He was completely ignorant about the subjects that the books were containing. And the books were very lengthy. They had 600 pages, 700 pages. And to write a review on those books, at least the reviewer had to read 50 to 60 pages so that he could give his opinion, his comment on that book. Sometimes he fails to meet the deadlines. So he is expected to complete the work before that deadline, but he fails to do that. He fails to even open that bundle. So what he does is, he uses the same old phrases, like the book that no one should miss. This is one phrase that he would use, and the other phrase, something memorable on every page. So these are the phrases that he would use without reading the books. So without reading the books, without even tasting the books, he would give his judgment, he would give his reviews. And like this, Orwell says that most of the reviewers do the same thing. Sometimes the reviewers overpraise the books. The books do not deserve that much of appreciation, but the reviewers write about them positively. They praise them positively. That means the quality of literature, the literary standards are coming down. And he is confessing all this. He is admitting that he was also part of that. And the majority of the reviewers give inadequate information. They do not give complete information. They give inadequate information and misleading reviews most of the times. So in media also we see that. We see some kind of reviews which mislead us, right? How to put an end to this kind of fake review, false review system? George Orwell gives solutions to this problem. He says that not all the books need reviews. So not all the books should be reviewed. Only few books, important books should be reviewed, so that there will not be more workload burden on the reviewers, so that they will have sufficient time and they can read the books. If they want to reread it, they can reread it. So because there will not be any pressure, then they will give the honest feedback, honest review system. And he says that the job of a book reviewer is always great, and it should be great. And he says that it is better than the job of a film critic. Film critic, that means a movie reviewer, should always visit some scheduled shows. That means he has to sometime go and watch the first shows and give his review. Whereas this book reviewer can sit at his place and he can take some time and he can give his opinion or review. And he concludes his essay by saying that a book reviewer should be given sufficient time and some freedom, so that you can get some honest reviews from the book reviewer. So this is all about the essay, Confession of a Book Reviewer. Thank you.